Hello Scorpio, welcome to your October reading. So happy birthday if you're listening like to this after October 22nd when we're actually shifting into Scorpio. And guys, if you're new here or the first time, then this is a general reading as a kind of like normal thing to kind of like address is that you will get tidbits of messages here and there. Not necessarily everything will be just catered to you. But that's why I suggest check your ascendant and check your moon sign in addition to your sun sign, and that way you will get more messages. Of course, guys, you can get a private reading with me. Visit me on cattarot.ca to do that. And lastly, I have live readings every Saturday at 11 Eastern Standard Time. That's actually lots of fun, so join us, guys. And you'll get notifications, so click on notifications if you don't have them already, so you can get notification and you will be able to join in. So let's see, Scorpio. I have a lot to say for Scorpios, and I still have to keep it under YouTube limit of 10 minutes. New directions. So first and foremost, we are starting a year with full moon in Aries, and this is going to be October 1st. So right out of the gate, we kind of like have this burst of energy. Thank God, right? It's fall. Usually people shut down, but this burst of energy is going to give us like renewed motivation and control of our lives. Your overall energy is 6 of Pentacles. This is kind of like give and take and sharing and possibly hospitality and possible generosity that is addressed. I will know more. Interestingly, is like that you also have a 7 right underneath. So there is like a process happening where something has been growing properly, and maybe, I mean, this literally could mean sharing money, sharing food, but it can mean something bigger, sharing like life. Now you're getting to the stage that you are kind of realizing that this is it. This is like a little baby of the Lover's card, right? So let's see what else we have. We have also One of Pentacles. This is like one of the loveliest cards to get when it comes to this new cycle, a new progress, and kind of like going in a new direction. This is clearly connecting to this full moon in Aries for you guys. So there's like something to really think about it. During full moons, if you do the search on my channel, I have a full moon meditation. So kind of like it's really good to have this fullness and release things that are not needed in order to get the new stuff. So just think about if you have a cup full of something liquid, you cannot absorb new things. So you need to let go sometimes in order to allow new stuff to come through. Then we have like this 4 of Cups. There is like some level of exhaustion, but this card is actually more than exhaustion. This card also talks about certain level of boredom, and hopefully that's going to start to sharpen up over here or not. In any case, when it comes to this, it really talks about, it's looking back at you. It's looking back at what you find interesting and what is going on. And it's sometimes really easy. We jump and we kind of like get a different motivation and something is happening. But this is really telling you need to internally kind of like push your batteries, reassess your energy, and kind of like go in a new direction. Then we have 3 of Wands, but it is reversed. That's the card about ships, and it is, as I say, usually partnership, relationship, friendship. Sometimes we need to decide what we want, in which direction we want. Like sometimes we get greedy and we want all of them. Clearly, like, I mean, so far what I see, it almost like looks like turning a new leaf. Something is starting, something is like brewing, but it's also at the same time, it makes you tired, which makes me believe that it was lots of activity to push to this level where you're at. So in the past, as I said, maybe it was something that was really hard to work on, because the Temperance card usually talks about patience, and you as a water sign, you have this patience, even though this kind of usually belongs to Sagittarius, right? And that kind of like everlasting, kind of like triggering, and possible devil's advocate, and it's always like with kind of like feeling uncomfortable, you're always actually expanding your boundaries, right? But Temperance also merges almost like the impossible. If it was partnership, maybe it was somebody who was not the easiest fit, right? So Cinderella really didn't find the shoe over here. But Temperance came upright, and it really shows, hey, you know, it finally slid in. Finally something was made kind of like working. I also want to tell you guys that we have Mercury retrograde going through your sign this time around, and I don't know if I should address it now. I guess October 13th to November 3rd, so quite a bit of the transition is going to be through your sign. So it's good to tell you this now and not in the next reading, because it's going to be just 3 days over there. But that can make you psycho, especially your sign, because what's happening when Mercury retrograde, and the last day of it is November 3rd, the election in the US, so that's kind of like affecting the whole world. But the Scorpio becomes obsessive, paranoid, like insufferable when Mercury retrograde is there. Like, this is just really one of those combinations, one of those two combinations that are telling you, oh my gosh, watch for it, right? So you guys really need to literally temper yourself. You need to really watch how and where you are going. So be very careful. Put these dates, October 13th. In fact, really October 22nd to November 3rd would be like really that is going to impact you the most, right? So it's very, very important to do self-care. It's very important to stop and breathe the roses. And maybe this is why this is coming reversed, even though we have like Six of Pentacles upright, which is telling me if it's a partnership, something is working, something is making sense, but somebody doesn't want to be in it. I know this was also reversed. So this also meant somebody's dropping something. There's like maybe some issue, and maybe this is why you're moving, you're turning a new leaf. And maybe you're saying, I just did my all, I really tried, but hey, you know, I am not a wizard, right? I'm not a magician. It's just so much I can do. But then you have Justice, and this is mirroring a Temperance card. Both of them are a major arcana. Major arcana is like a must happen. This is like obligatory, like nothing, you cannot beat around the bush. It's not kind of like something that you can pick, and even if you kind of like don't conquer this lesson, kind of like not a big deal kind of a thing. This is like a must. You don't pass this grade if you don't go over it. Same as these two other cards. And it's really interesting. You have air, and fire over here. So this is asking for lots of energy from like lots of kind of like interaction from you. This card, however, is telling me even if it was a breakup, which it could be for some of you, or it could be just you who is walking away, you might be feeling, oh my god, like no matter what I do, like I mean, it's just not good. And like you're that sign that is like all or nothing. But this kind of like means you're landing on your feet. Things are looking up, and justice is not necessarily that you are getting things that you want, but it's almost like the karmic cycle, because this is one of my karma cards. The karmic cycle is now shifting in your favor. So even though it might not look that way on the surface, it is. That's the way it works. Then you have Knave of Swords. This is Page of Swords reversed. That's the obsessive part. You will be the one spying on somebody, maybe checking somebody's Instagram, Facebook, driving by their house, maybe even sending text messages, or even doing some investigation. This connects to Secret Service. This connects to stalking, peeping Tom, whole bunch of stuff. There's like something that is really that's still not clear to you. Maybe it didn't sit well with you, so somehow you're kind of like really pushing this forward. And then we have in your environment, we have Seven of Cups, which is interesting because we had here Four of Cups, but this one is reversed, right? So environment means this is kind of like your surroundings, what will be coming toward you, which is not necessarily something that you can control. So it could be that you have been dealing with somebody who kind of like had lots of different wants and maybe even unreasonable wishes, but maybe somebody is now grounding, and maybe somebody picked. Usually I see this card, for example, if somebody's just starting dating and initially dating lots of partners, lots of picks, and everybody seems to be so nice on the first and a second, third date, and then they cannot keep the mask on, the mask falls off, and you are really brilliant at it to kind of like push them out of their comfort zone and see how they would react here and there, kind of like do that due diligence really, really quickly. And the mask is coming off over here, right? But it's a good thing. It's almost like, okay, I tried this, and I tried this, but now I know you are the one that I want. So this kind of like could be a really, really good thing. It also could be that you will say to them, too late, kind of a thing, right? We'll see. These are your hopes and fears. This is your card. Death is appearing. It's upright, so it's actually good. When your card appears in a reading, some people say just ignore it. It means nothing. It's just like Scorpio showed up. First of all, it means your spirit guide is here. Second of all, it means to me that it's even a stronger message than like I never avoided. To me, this means that something is here communicating to you that you really need to absorb this message. This is the ultimate card of transformation. That's the proverbial story when a Scorpio becomes a phoenix. You are raising from the ashes, and something that it was, now is becoming something else. Having said that, this card is showing up in a category of hopes and fears. So we are reading this card both up and down. I'm reading this card both up and down. So which means your hopes are for transformation. Something is going to go in the next stage. Maybe one phase needs to finish. You want to leave some bad things behind you. Now you want to start new. But it also could mean that you're prolonging something that maybe should be dead. And maybe that you're fearing that, oh my gosh, like what if I insisting on this, and this is not in my best interest. You're actually spiritual enough to comprehend this concept. So where is this all heading is another 6. So we have now 6 and 6 and 6. Something really karmic is at play for you this month. And look at that. Isn't this freaking lovely, lovely, lovely thing? So there is like this really murky water, turbulent waters, but there is like the safe gateway, safe passage, like big eyes, and it's kind of like, oh my god, like I need to escape from something. To me, technically, this is kind of like about procession of some sort, leaving behind a situation that could be abusive, and I really hope this was not you. It also could mean, because look at that eyes, it was not something that you kind of like look with love, right? But there is like something that is coming forward, that is like something maybe to look forward to, even though in this particular deck it doesn't really show, because you can see those lines out there, right? But the participants don't necessarily see why, because they're still engaged with what has been happening. So which means you're still percolating some events that have been happening. And I really think maybe the case over here is like something was working, or you wanted to make it work in spite of everything. You see, Temperance is merging things that are impossible to merge. So fire and water, all of a sudden there's like a new element created out of it, right? Oil and water, like you name it, right? And you're saying, I move freaking mountains to make something work. And something was work for a while, and then like you felt, oh my gosh, whew, I can relax. And then it was just like complete meltdown of some sort. So be very careful with Mercury retrograde. On 22nd of October, we are entering sexy Scorpio, and that becomes really, really intense. It's going to be a big temptation with exes. So even though something closed down, it can just reopen. And now this is really interesting part. Usually Mercury retrograde exes sometimes come back in our life, and generally it is just to close the karmic cycle, right? Which you do have clearly something karmic happening. This time around, it's going to be a little bit different, because you kind of like, first of all, have to beware with the exes, because it can get out of hand. But some connections this time around, some connections that have been forged during this interval here, and we are talking October 22nd to November 3rd, can last a lifetime. This is kind of like something really, really interesting. And then we have another full moon. We have October 1st full moon, and we also have Halloween full moon. It's going to be really, really spooky. And this is in Taurus. It's the opposite sign of yours. And it's going to be like about treating ourselves, nourishing ourselves, Taurus is one of the more pleasurable full moons. So Scorpio, you are like shedding old skin, you're starting like a new phase. Just don't become crazed out, because the constellations in the sky will make you think that you're losing your mind. Just come back to this reading to kind of reinforce that you just like need to transition to something else and everything will work out. And there you go. I didn't manage to keep it under 10 minutes as prescribed, but I'm glad that I squeezed everything I wanted to say. So Scorpios, you know that I love you. If you want to reach me, contact me at cattarot.ca on my website, but also join us on live at 11 Saturday Eastern Standard Time. This is lots of fun. It's a live reading, and because it's live reading, you actually do have 2 spots where you can get the answers to your questions, but you also kind of get all this more messages from all the signs coming toward you. So hopefully I'll see you there. And please contact me for the reading, and either via my website or you can send me an email. All the info is also down in the description box. Love you, all the best, and have a wonderful October. Happy birthday in advance.